Good afternoon. It's Wednesday, December 30th. And once again, anime DVDs to go over. But I've got other things I want to go over as well, so let's get real quick here. First off, we have Blassreiter Part 2 and Dragonaut the Resonance Part 2, which should complete both those series. And we have Case Closed, Captured in Her Eyes, the movie, which may be a re-release, but I haven't checked. I also ordered Genshiken 2 DVD 3, but that wasn't in stock. That's kind of usual for Genshiken DVDs, I think. Other new releases this week that I did not get would be the Baccano Complete Collection and the Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles 2nd Season set, both of which I bought as individuals, so I don't need them. Instead, let's transition over to catch-up releases, which is basically buying things that were released longer ago, which is what I've been doing this month. We start with Interstella 5555, which is basically the Daft Punk anime. And then we get to Zone of the Enders, which I think I mentioned was coming in last week. This, of course, comes with the 2167 Idolo OVA, which is the prequel to the rest of the series called Dolores I. And I believe this is basically a repackaging of a bunch of individual releases. I haven't double checked though, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. It's been a while since I had one of those, so it's nice to get it. Then we have Sorcerer Hunter's OVA, Chocolate Springs and Other Hot Things. At least I believe it's the OVA. I'll have to double check to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that's the one I don't have. Then we have Strange Dawn Volume 1, Strange World, which I already knew that once this arrived, I would probably have to watch it. So I dug out the second DVD out of my collection. And I watched both of these last night to basically verify what I had read, the few high praise reviews, which basically said it was a more complicated anime than it initially would appear to be. And I have to agree. It's quite compelling. It's too bad these two DVDs, released back in 2002, are all that have been released. There should be 2 more, or there were going to be 2 more. Maybe we'll get lucky and see a complete series or something. In fact, maybe this video will be their inspiration for releasing it. I doubt it. In any case, that's basically everything new that has arrived. But I have ordered other things that wouldn't be next day shipped. And this is basically my final catch-up gift to myself for this month, so I probably won't play any more catch-up until next December. The thing I ordered to finish off the year is Vampire Princess Miyu. I skipped on the complete collection because that's rather expensive, and I already have TV series Volume 1. So all I had to do to really complete it was to buy the 2 OVAs from the Right Stuff International, and Volumes 2 through 6 from various stores that sell through Amazon.com. Voila! And whenever those arrive, I'll of course cover them here on the camera. Yeah, that should cover all the anime DVDs. Next up is an improvement to the room. I replaced the big black shelves that were here with even bigger white shelves. And these are actually quite a good addition to the room. First of all, you'll notice that they have a front, whereas the previous ones didn't. And you'll also notice that even though the bowmen are still up here, there's also a back, which basically means that they are now protected both from the dust that seems to multiply like rabbits in my room, and from the danger of falling, which has been far more worrisome. You can clean dust off, but falling is a bit hard to clean off. Everything else has been dedicated to anime DVDs except the bottom shelves, thanks to a really tall figurine, which basically decided that the rest of the figures need to live down there. So for anime DVDs, you'll notice basically right there, we have Urusei Yatsura and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which used to be the length of the old bookcase. So you can already see that this one is slightly wider. Maybe it's still a little thinner because it doesn't have like 2 inches of wood on either side on the outside, but that shouldn't do a whole lot to make this different. You'll also notice that all the anime DVDs are currently single layered, whereas they were getting double layered on the previous one. That's an excellent an excellent metric for measuring just how much more efficient this will be. I think a lot of that is the glass shelves, which allow the DVDs to be stored vertically instead of horizontally, which a lot of people have complained about before. I don't really know if one way is more correct over the other, because I haven't seen any official research saying it one way or another, but it's still nice when they're actually displayed the way DVDs were meant to be displayed. You can see down there, that's where the next pile is, or the next shelf is starting. Once that shelf and that shelf are filled, unfortunately I'm going to have to start double layering in here. But it's going to be able to hold a lot of DVDs. It's really hard to tell without knowing the specifics, but you've noticed there is a Yatsura, or I pointed that out to y'all, and that was on the old shelf. What I didn't point out is that there's a lot of DVDs here that were not just the DVDs in the previous shelf, but also stuff that I was running out of space for and began piling on my desk, like You're Under Arrest over in the corner there. And then right next to that is Hunter x Hunter, which actually used to be in the piles over there. And I started organizing and cleaning things up and moving things over here. This thing's going to last me a good while longer, actually. But it's going to get filled up eventually. Everything I buy eventually does. So, a welcome addition to my room. And to keeping the anime DVDs organized and a little dust-free. The next thing we should cover is Christmas presents. At this point, I don't know if it's really if you really need to stick around, but if you're kind of curious how many anime DVDs I received for Christmas, the answer is none. In fact, if you want to know what anime stuff I got at all, it's just this Naruto Shippuden calendar. And I like having anime calendars, and any complaints you may have about Naruto Shippuden the anime, you have to admit that at least it looks good, as in, like, you look at it and you say, oh yeah, that's an anime. Maybe you know it's a popular one, and maybe you have personal complaints, but it's still a good calendar. Stargate SG-1 Complete Collection from one of my friends. Yes, I watch things other than anime. And Stargate SG-1 was pretty awesome, in my opinion. Then I got some blank dual-layer discs. I got Tauhao 12 and 12.3 from a friend, but unfortunately I already had those. It's not a complete waste, though, because they also came with this card, which I didn't have, and that's pretty cool to have. Down here we have a Sega Genesis. Just no games, and the audio-video cable hasn't arrived yet, but that's a start, and I'll go and get some of the games I really like. Everything else I got for Christmas is basically tool-related for when I eventually move out. I'm wanting to be able to take care of myself, so you've got safety goggles there, a 173-piece tool set here, which is mighty impressive, I think. I don't know if they get bigger or better or more expensive, but this should cover a whole lot of my needs. These would be more computer hardware-related tools, things like things that can strip wires or pull parts or apply solder. You know, it's a pretty cool addition, especially since I have a project I want to try and work on. And then finally I got this rotary tool, which I don't know what to do with yet, but it should be pretty cool to have. We'll see what I end up using it for, but I probably won't end up posting about that on my YouTube account, because I don't think any of that is nearly as exciting as the anime DVDs in terms of uniqueness. Anyways, that was all my Christmas stuff. Nice and quick, yes? To wrap things up, I wanted to mention Silent Hill Shattered Memories, and I've got good news and bad news. The good news is I finally played and I recorded myself playing. The bad news is I didn't actually enjoy myself, and there's this added problem of technical reasons why I can't post it, and that's a bit long to explain all of that here in the remaining time in this video, so instead I'm going to mention that there's a small plus side to this. I'm going to take advantage of the situation to try and make a review for Silent Hill Shattered Memories and post that instead. It's not quite the same thing, I admit, but you'll understand why I'm not bothering trying to record a playthrough of it. And with any luck, doing that will be an excellent lead-in to beginning to review anime themselves. Because there's a lot of anime DVDs, plenty of people have anime questions, and I'm sure some of y'all are curious, what does somebody with this many anime DVDs, what are some of their favorite animes, what are their thoughts on my favorite anime, me being you, of course, etc. So, hopefully, we'll find out if that's actually something I can do and be interesting about. Otherwise, I guess my next update is going to be next year, January 2010, so y'all have a Happy New Year, and I'll see you on the other side.